The new era in Chicago is here. Get ready for an earthquake in the Hall of Ears. But is the movement enough to save the team? In recent days, the news exploded on social media. Grady Jarrett, a veteran of the defensive trenches, has just joined the Bears roster. And contrary to what many might think, it wasn't for money. The big reason. Caleb Williams, the #1 QB, the future of the franchise. Did you know this? Don't forget to subscribe to the Bears News Fan Report. Leave a like and activate the bell to not miss any hot analysis about the future of the Bears. After a decade in Atlanta, Grady Jarrett now chooses Chicago to join a team with a young and promising quarterback. But here's the big question. What made such an experienced player with so many years of success choose this team? He believes in the future of Caleb Williams, and with such a young QB, that says a lot about what's being built behind the scenes in Chicago. However, even with the good news, there's a big obstacle: the offensive protection. Caleb was devastated by 68 sacks last season, which is not only worrying but also jeopardizes the team's confidence. The question is, do the Bears have the resources and intelligence to protect their future QB? Let's not forget about Jarrett. At 32 years old, with 36.5 sacks in his career, he didn't come to be a star but rather to mentor Gervon Dexter. If Dexter evolves, Chicago's defense will be feared, but if not, it'll just be another patch in the team. Now, the big truth: Jarrett's arrival isn't just about football. It's a sign. Players are coming to Chicago because they believe in the project, and Caleb Williams is the key to that. He's not just a promising QB, he's creating a winning culture. But there's a crucial question. Is Caleb ready to carry the weight of expectations? If he fails, the veterans who came with him will also fall. The pressure is high, and the future of the Bears depends on how he handles it. And you, Bears fan, what do you think about this new formation? Do you believe Caleb Williams and Grady Jarrett can take the team to the playoffs in 2025, or will it just be another illusion? If you like this video and want more exclusive content, don't forget to subscribe to the Bears News Fan Report and activate the bell to not miss any hot analysis about the future of the Bears. Remember him? The former Bears guard whom many considered a failure after failed attempts at the tackle. Well, after being waived by Chicago, Jenkins is now on his way to Seattle, and he could be the key to the Seahawks' offensive line. But is he ready to be the player Seattle so desperately needs? In 2024, Jenkins had a solid performance as a guard, with 76.3 score in run blocking, placing him among the best in the league. However, we can't forget his injury history. The player missed 14 games in the last 4 years due to ankle, neck, and concussion issues. Did the Seahawks make the right move by investing in a player with such a problematic history? And more, why did Chicago give up on Jenkins if he was so good? Seattle needs more than just promises. The 2024 offensive line was a disaster, and Jenkins will be pressured to change that. But with his injuries, there's a risk he could become another name on the injury list. If he gets hurt again, Seattle's plan could go down the drain, and everything that GM John Schneider built will be a huge mistake. However, the big dilemma isn't just the physical issue. Jenkins is good, but is he worth the risk of a heavy contract? The question here is whether he can handle the pressure of a team that desperately needs stability on the offensive line. Now, imagine Seattle without Jenkins. Who would be the replacement? A third-round rookie or a retired veteran? Not exactly an ideal plan for a team that hopes to become competitive again. The pressure on Jenkins will be huge, and his ability to stay healthy will be crucial for the Seahawks' success or failure this season. And to wrap up with a big bomb, let's talk about the elephant in the room: DeAndre Swift. It's impossible to ignore. Swift is a player who's weighing heavily on the Bears' budget in a way that doesn't make sense. $24 million for 3 years for a running back who, in 2024, had one of the worst performances, costing more per yard gained than other big names in the league like Saquon Barkley. How can this be justified? Swift is undoubtedly a fast player, but the question is he really worth the investment? With a cost of over $8,400 per yard, he's more of a luxury option than the real solution the team needs. If there's one thing Swift has shown, it's that when the defense shows up, he disappears. His ability to avoid tackles is limited, and he's never been the solution the franchise has longed for. The harsh truth is that Ben Johnson's new plan is to put Swift in a starring role but will he be able to explode as a star? The most realistic answer is no. Swift is being paid way more than he deserves, and on a team that needs a dominant running back, he's not the kind of player who will take the team to the Super Bowl. The big question for 2025 is, what to do with Swift? What to do with $12 million invested in a player who clearly isn't living up to expectations? Cutting him would be a tough blow to the team, but leaving that amount on his contract doesn't seem like a good option either. Do you believe Caleb Williams and the arrival of veterans like Grady Jarrett and T. Jenkins are what Chicago needs to finally take a leap to the playoffs in 2025? Or are we just watching another cycle of unfulfilled promises? And more importantly, what to do with Swift? Continue paying for an average running back or cut costs and look for something better in the draft? Leave your opinions in the comments. We want to know what you think about this twist in Chicago and how you believe this team can finally rise up. If you're a true Bears fan, subscribe, activate the bell, and be part of this revolution that's coming. This is just the beginning of a new era, and we'll be keeping a close eye on every decision, every move that could change the future of the franchise. As a Bears fan, it's impossible not to feel a mix of excitement and concern. The team is clearly in a rebuilding phase, and the bets on players like Caleb Williams, Grady Jarrett, and T. Jenkins could be the key to finally changing the direction of this franchise. However, it's also necessary to be careful not to put all the chips on one player or a simple solution. The draft of Caleb Williams is undoubtedly one of the Bears' biggest hopes, but the pressure on a young QB to save a team that has been inconsistent for years can be heavy. He has all the talent to become a big name, but the offensive line urgently needs a reform for him to have time to grow and develop. And that's where the big question with T. Jenkins comes in. He might be a good reinforcement, but if he keeps having physical problems, he could be just another name added to the list of unfulfilled promises. As for DeAndre Swift's case, I really have doubts. It's hard to understand how a running back who hasn't delivered consistent numbers can justify the price being paid for him. I don't see a bright future for him in Chicago, and I think the Bears should start thinking about other options for that position, whether in the draft or through a possible trade. I'm a fan who, despite all the skepticism, still believes in the potential of this team. The defense still has good players and can be the foundation for a competitive team, but everything will depend on the evolution of the offense and how the new reinforcements fit into the system. I just hope the fans' patience doesn't run out, as the team has a long road ahead. However, if the franchise continues betting on the right names and, most importantly, starts getting it right with the development of its young players, who knows, maybe we'll finally see the Bears fighting for the playoffs soon. I, as a fan, still believe in the potential, but I know the road will be tough. What do you think? See you next time, Bears Nation. Remember, the future is now.